Hello everyone, welcome to our channel S for Special. Today video is a novel, The Seven Poor Travelers. Chapter 1, In the Old City of Rochester. Strictly speaking, there were only 6 poor travelers, but being a traveler myself through an ideal one, and being withal as poor as I hope to be, I brought the number up to 7. This word of explanation is to advance. For what says the inscription over the quaint old door? Richard Watts, by the will dated 22 August 1579, founded the charity for 6 poor travelers who, not being rugs and proctors, may receive gratis for one night lodging, entertainment, and fourpence each. It was in ancient little city of Rochester in Kent, of all good days in the year upon Christmas evening, that I stood reading the inscriptions over the quaint old door in question. I had been wandering about the neighboring cathedral and had seen the tomb of Richard Watts with the effigy of worthy Master Richard staring out of it like a ship's figurehead, and I had felt that I could do no less, as I gave the verger his fee, than inquire the way to Watts' charity, the way being very short and very plain. I had come prosperously to the inscription and the quaint old door. Now, said I to myself as I looked at the knocker, I know I am not a proctor. I wonder whether I am a rogue. Upon the whole, though, conscience reproduced 2 or 3 pretty faces which might have had smaller attraction for a moral Goliath than they had for me, who am but a Tom Thumb in that way. I came to the conclusion that I was not a rogue, so beginning to regard establishment as in some sort my property, bequeathed to me, and divers co-legatees share and share alike by the worshipful Master Richard Watts. I stepped backward into the road to survey my inheritance. I found it to be a clean white house of staid and venerable air, with the quaint old door already 3 times mentioned, choice little low lattice windows, and a roof of 3 gables. The silent high street of Rochester is full of gables, with old beams and timbers curved into strange faces. It is oddly garnished with a queer old clock that projects over the pavement out of a grave red brick buildings, as if time carried on business there and hung out of his signs. Sooth to say, he did an active stroke of work in Rochester in the old days of Romans and the Saxons and the Normans, and down to the times of King John, when the rugged castle, I will not undertake to say how many hundreds of years old then, was abandoned to centuries of weather which have so defaced the dark apertures in its walls that the ruin looks as if the rooks and doors and peeked its eyes out. I was very well placed both with my property and its situation when I was yet surveying it with growing content. I espied at one of upper lattices which stood open a decent body of wholesome matronly appearance, whose eyes I caught inquiringly addressed to mine. They said so plainly, "Do you wish to see the house?" That I answered aloud, "Yes, if you please." And within a minute the old door opened, but I bent my head and went down 2 steps into the entry. This said the matronly presence, ushering me into a low room on the right, is where the travelers sit by the fire and cook what bits of suppers they buy with their fourpences. "Oh, then they have no entertainment," said I, for inscription over the outer door was still running in my head, and I was mentally repeating in a kind of tone, "Lodging, entertainment, and fourpence each." "They have a fire provided for returned the matron, a mildly civil person, not as I could make out overpaid. "And these cooking utensils and this what's half painted on a boat is the rule for their behavior. They have their fourpences when they get their tickets from the steward over the way. For I admit him myself, they must get their tickets first, and sometimes one buys a rasher bacon and another herring, and another a proud of potatoes or whatnot. Sometimes 2 or 3 of them will club their fourpences together and make a supper that way, but not much of anything is to be a fourpence at present when provisions is so dear." "True indeed," I remarked. I had been looking about the room, admiring its sunk fireside at the upper end, its glimpse of the street through the low mullioned window, and its beams overhead. "It is very comfortable," said I. "I'll be convenient," observed the matronly presence. "I like to hear say so, for it showed a commendable anxiety to execute in no niggardly spirit the intentions of Master Richard Watts. But the room was really so well adapted to its purpose, and I protested quite enthusiastically against her department. "Nay, ma'am," said I, "am sure it is warm in winter and cool in summer. It has look homely, welcome, and soothing rest. It has remarkably costly fireside, the very blink of which gleaming out into the street upon a winter night. It is enough to warm old Rochester's head, and so to the convenience of the 6 poor travellers." "That don't mean them," returned the presence. "I speak of it begins, and I will convince to myself and my daughter, having no other room sit of a night." This was true enough, but there was another coin room of corresponding dimensions on the opposite side of the entry. So I stepped across to it through the open doors of both rooms and asked what this chamber was for. This returned the presence is the board room where the gentlemen meet when they come.